Inspirit Nutrition, your brother, your friend, your dietitian, back again for another installment. Let's get it popping. The 3 secrets to abundance. It just sounds enticing, huh? Pulls you in. Abundance, who doesn't want abundance? We look out into nature, we see that abundance is natural. The way flowers grow, the way fruit trees bear fruit, the way you plant one seed and you get so much more when you reap and you harvest. Abundance is a natural thing. There's 3 secrets to abundance. The first secret is to recognize, appreciate, and give thanks for the abundance that you already have. A lot of times we take for granted everything that's around us. For example, I'm living in Los Angeles. It's an international city. I can practice Espanol. I can meet people from all over the world. There's billionaires who live here. There's millionaires who live here. There's thousandaires who live here. There are beautiful spirits and humans who live here. Sometimes we take it for granted and we don't take advantage of it. We don't aprovecharlo. We don't avail ourselves of it. So, for example, you have the beach, you have Hollywood, you have nature, and we kind of just wake up and take it for granted and think, hey, I'm alive, I'm in America, I'm in the 21st century, I'm using the internet, and I can talk to millions on YouTube. We take things for granted. So if you have a home, if you have a place to sleep, if you have hot water, if you have food to eat, if you can eat organic food, if you can eat healthy, if you have internet access, cultivate a spirit of appreciation and recognize all the things that you're grateful for and that you're blessed for, are blessed to have. I was able to do this because I've been to third world countries where they live in abject poverty. I've also been in certain states of mind, hellish states of mind, being depressed, being without in college, being grieving for my mother who had passed, just being in a negative relationship with a woman, and none of those things exist now. So I'm grateful for all those conditions as well. I'm healthy, I'm strong, I'm fast. The environment that I live in, I'm appreciative and I'm grateful for. My financial situation, I'm grateful for. Identify everything that you have around you and give thanks for every last thing. You're going to cultivate the eye of abundance. This is the first thing, cultivating your eye of abundance. So you're recognizing the abundance you already have, the flower that you have in your garden, the plant that you have that's grown, or whatever around you that you have, new furniture, shoes, whatever it is, recognize it, state it in your heart that you're grateful for it. This is going to cultivate your eye of abundance. The next thing is removing all lack from your consciousness. All ideas of poverty and lack from your consciousness. So a lot of times people always see things, they say, is the glass half full or is the glass half empty? Life is all about perception. So if you come from the lack state, the glass is half empty. Or the glass, why I gotta have water? Why can't I have some coffee or some Gatorade or something? You have to change your mind from the lack consciousness and the poverty consciousness to an abundance consciousness. So if you ever feel like, I don't know where my next meal is coming from, or I don't know where my next dollar is coming from, my next penny to pay my phone bill, to get to this goal, have absolute faith in the Most High, in the abundance of the universe, and that's going to cultivate a spirit of abundance, and you're going to receive what you need. So that doesn't mean spend frivolously and say, well, I'm gonna receive from the Most High. But if you have money, use it wisely and don't fear or fret about where it's going to come from, because that'll hold a lack consciousness and it'll prevent your abundance from manifesting. I'll give you an example. I went to India in 2011. During that time period, the summer before I went, I didn't have a job and I didn't have money. I didn't have parents to give me money, and I didn't know how I was going to get there. I was in a relationship at the time. It wasn't a healthy relationship, but I was in a relationship, and I was supposed to be traveling with my girlfriend at the time to India. I have some videos up, and I didn't have any money. But I was so faithful and so sure that I was going to India. I didn't even question it. And it was like a month before I was supposed to go. I needed to gather like almost 2 G's, maybe $1,600, and I didn't have any money. I didn't have a job. All I had was a laptop to my name that was only worth like $500. But I told her I have absolute faith that I'm going to India. I used to have visualizations in my dreams, in my subconscious mind. I used to be in India, and I would have these vivid, lucid dreams of me being in India, speaking to people and talking to people. And I told her, without a doubt, I'm going to India. And I actually started a PayPal page to raise money for me to go to India. This was before GoFundMe got big or even existed. Indiegogo, Kickstarter, all that stuff. Before that existed, I created like a donation page and told people, hey, this is my mission. I'm going abroad. Help me out. So many people sent in donations. It was just ridiculous. And one of my family members who previously stated that she, wasn't going to support me, blessed me up with like $1,000 in cash. And instead of taking the money from the PayPal, I actually ended up giving people their money back that donated to me and kept the money from the family member. And so the universe provided because I maintain an abundance consciousness. I knew that without a doubt I would be provided for. So don't have any lack in your consciousness. Remove it. Remove any ideas of poverty. Growing up, we're always taught, buy the cheaper thing, or, sew things up if it's broken down, or, prepare for the worst and save for a rainy day. But that's all poverty, lack consciousness. You have to think from an abundant state. Of course, you're going to save or prepare for, things that could happen, contingencies or things like that. But you always think from abundance consciousness. So remove poverty and lack from your state of mind. The last thing is, after you develop your abundance, your eye of abundance, by recognizing all that you have and be appreciative and grateful and express gratitude and feel it viscerally, and after you've removed lack from your consciousness. So if you think you want to be a ballerina, you think you want to be a director, you want to be an actor, you want to move to the next level, don't magnify your obstacles and the lack that you don't have. Magnify the possibilities and imagine yourself in that state of abundance. That's how you change from lack to abundance consciousness. Lastly is give and serve abundantly and generously. The secret is that all is one. We're all united. So when somebody thinks that, the Rastas say, or in Rastafarian culture, they say I and I. When they say I and I, that means I and I. It means that I am another you. So you are me. So we're one. If you understand that we're all one, and that when you do harm to your brother, you harm yourself, then it doesn't make sense for you to be selfish or greedy. Because when you give abundantly and generously, guess what? You're actually giving to yourself abundantly and generously, because the universe is connected. Everything is connected. Everything is united. All is one. So when I get served my brother, man, whether he's from China, England, United States, Mexico, Argentina, South Africa, Namibia, that's my brother, man. I'm serving myself. So it's a secret science to giving and generously sharing in serving, is that's the law of divine abundance. You give the best that's in you, and what goes around comes around. So that's the law of karma as well. You give abundantly because there is abundance. And the Upanishads, those are ancient texts, thousands of years old. They said, out of abundance they took abundance, and still abundance remained. We're dealing with the infinite universe, so that means there's enough for all. So when you serve abundantly, serve freely. Now, you have to maintain the consciousness that I have more, I have a lot to give, and guess what? You're going to receive the same back. You can't give abundantly with the fear that if I give everything, I'm not going to have anything, because you won't have anything, because now you're thinking from a lack poverty consciousness, lack and poverty consciousness. But if you give knowing that all is well, I'm abundance, I am wealth, I am abundance, you receive abundance. Develop your eye of abundance. Recognize the abundance around you. Remove lack and poverty consciousness, and give, serve abundantly, and you shall receive abundantly. Your brother, your friend, your dietitian, back again for another installment. Peace and blessings.